suckers. Y'all can't get close, so why you wanna touch us? Cause my team is so hard. My team is legit. Madden 20, Snoop Dogg is. I get it. I got cleats on my feet, jersey on my back, helmet on my head, ready to attack like that. Down in Mississippi and New Orleans, big Snoop Dogg got a Madden lead. Your team is off the hook and you don't really want none, but if you do.
Downtown between Brush Street and I-375. That's where we're located in the heart of Detroit at Ford Field, which first opened back in 2002. A few short moments ago, these two teams made their way out of the Ford Field tunnels, and the noise level in this place just about off the charts. They are set for football as the Lions get ready to do battle with the Minnesota Vikings. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Set. 280. 22.
Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
He finds an opening past the 40. This complete to Jones. And he'll take it to the 43-yard line. A look at Kerryon Johnson, second-year man out of Auburn. And he'll only get a yard, maybe two, up to the 46.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
He don't know no better. Zero. Check. 53's mine. Check.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Stafford. Jones has it. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 42. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
Anthony Harris on the tackle.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Here we go.
Back to throw. Stafford. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Hey, 22.
3rd and 2. Stafford. Got a man. It's Amendola. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25.
Check 53. Hey, 5-0. Check 53.
Stafford on first down. That's going to be caught. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Lions take it right down and score on the opening drive. Prater for the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25.
go now. 10-2 soft. Let's go. Here we go. Bring it. Step.
Now a first carry for LeGarrette Blount. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Here's Dalvin Cook, third-year back from Florida State. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Recon, 132 fighter. Jam.
On 2nd down, Cook. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? It was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Lions will take over at the 20. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Two draw corkers.
They begin the drive with Johnson. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. On the ground, this is Johnson. They'll get 4 on 2nd down, but it leaves them with 3rd and still 9 to go. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
It's going to be a long
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Fielded at the 20. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. He lost 6 there on the first down play. After 7-0 on EA Sports. The Vikings with the football here to begin the second quarter. As they've got it with a 2nd down coming up. Now on 2nd and 16. Lauletta. And his throw here's incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Lauletta. It's brought in by Doxson. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. They'll get 34 yards there. So the big play gets them across midfield now for 1st and 10. Give to Cook out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Trey Flowers there on the tackle. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Lauletta to throw. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. And he gets this one down to the 24. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 24-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Check X3. 218, chop. Get it.
On first down, Lauletta. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jared Davis picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
After the sack on first down, Lauletta. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down. Here's the seventh play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Oh, and the hard count might have got him. This might be a first down. Jumpy on the right side of the line.
Sometimes when you're on the end, a little bit farther away from the ball, any type of movement will get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
And they've got another 1st and 10 as the penalty keeps this drive moving. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Marquise Brown, the rookie, his intended target, and it's 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. A throw left side to start out. That's complete. First down, Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
I'm coming after you. 53, ready? Hey. And we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. Push him back. Hey. High 7. 53 is the Mike. 53 is the Mike.
To throw is Stafford. Complete to Jones. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 15 yards for the Lions there on a first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. A shotgun snap for Stafford. Open man is Galladay, complete. And he's taken down inside the 30. First down, Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Hey, 50. 51 for Mike, boy, 51.
On first and 10, Stafford. Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the Vikings pick up the football. And it's a good return here as he'll get all the way up close to the 35. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up second and goal. Second and goal from inside the 5. Stafford into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Mackenzie Alexander with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs.
You're trailing, you're trying to get points late in half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. They'll run it with Johnson. And he'll take this one inside the 10 down to the 8. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
A 3-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd and 7. Mark 22, Mark 22.
On 2nd down, Johnson. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
180. Hey, give me radar. 10. Hey, Alpha.
Play action. Stafford. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Danny Amendola in the final seconds of the first half. And the Lions are able to extend their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And now the clock reads precisely 1 minute to go in the half. You want to run the 1-minute offense? This is a good test right here.
It certainly is, and definitely not a time to think about kneeling and going into the half. This is a chance to attack a little bit, but not having to get everything in one shot either. 10 yards here, 15 there. Work the sidelines, work the clock, give yourself a chance for at least a field goal going into the half.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told, as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make...
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. A big play there for Minnesota. 46 yards. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, Maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he... And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. The ex-Iowa Hawkeye Mike Daniels in for the sack. Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17 following the 2 negative plays. Here's Lawletta. A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jared Davis. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
A bit of an opening there on the first down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 30-yard line.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
I'm coming.
Here's Stafford. And that's off the mark, incomplete. Kenny Galladay, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. And Amendola with a catch. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a 1st down. Stafford now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's 1st and 10. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Stafford. Flushed out right. And this will be incomplete.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
And that will go out of the back of the end zone. Way too much mustard. Not a good punt, and it will come out to the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12. Out of the gun, Lawletta. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Devon Kennard. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8. Here's Lawletta. And that will be incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35.
At their own 31-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
That's good for 28 yards.
That lady!
First and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Stay with your man! Alert! 53 at the mic. Hey, Charlie! Come on.
Out of the gun, Stafford. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
32! Hey, Echo! 51's the mic. 51's Mike. Mike 51. Here we go, D.
Back to the air. Stafford on second down. And he comes back with one complete. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 23.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Hey, exit. Mike 22 is coming. 22's coming. Mike. Here we go. Stay 50. Mike 22, Mike 22.
Now a first down throw. Stafford. Caught by Jones. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. Back now at Ford Field. It's the Lions holding onto the football, and they also have the lead as we start quarter number 4. Now from the 7, here's second and goal.
Here we go. Mike 51. Let's go. Check 24.
Now Stafford. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. He's at the 50. 30. Past the 20. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. Well, don't change that channel just yet. This one may have gotten a bit more interesting.
Put down the remote, put down the clicker. This one looked like it was over. It looked like they were ready to seal the deal. But in doing so, by pitching it around a little bit, it cost them. We could have a great finish.
And this is caught. They got it. And that could be an important 2 points. It gets them back within a field goal. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too. Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Again, it's Stafford. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. The loss of 3 on that first down pass play. Now 2nd and 13. To the air again, Stafford. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Trey Waynes, the Michigan State man, right there in coverage.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Third and long, it's Stafford. He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Stafford looks to throw again. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. He's at the 50. He's at the 30, the 20, 10. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Now we've got movement up front. And I think this is going to be on Minnesota. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Lauletta from the 50. He's got Smith here. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 16 yards, a first down. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up. The tackle there by Quandre Diggs.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
From the 31, Lauletta. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
Well, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Now listen, it's a team game, we know that, but where would these guys be right now, Charles, without their defense? So they take over here following the turnover. Defense did it again, but on offense they have to feel like, hey, we need to do something.
You're exactly right. You just mentioned the defense did it again. They bailed them out on a number of occasions in this contest. It's time for them to repay the defense at the least. Keep the ball for a while. Give those guys a break so they can catch their breath.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. Now Johnson. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4. Good gain there on first down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Set, lady! I'm coming! 59! Hey! You got motion man. You got motion man right there. Go, Mike, 50. Go! Hey, it's coming up. Hey, sit on!
Stafford now to throw. It's caught. Jones. Stafford to Jones, enough for a Lion first down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as it comes with 1:04 left to go in the game.
At the Vikings 37-yard line.
So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. They go to Johnson again, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game. The Lions on third down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Here's Johnson. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit. I guess he was saving his best for last, so to speak. Longest run of the day coming here in the fourth quarter right there.
And that type of run makes for a better night for him and his teammates, doesn't it? To be able to produce this late in the game can lead to some big smiles and satisfaction in the locker room after this one's over.
Escaping the pressure right. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I like his thought process and his ability to move and get downfield. But what I didn't like was the final decision, to go out of bounds. They want to keep the clock moving. Instead, they give the defense an extra timeout.
Now Stafford. His throw caught at about the 5. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. 23 yards the pickup there. It's 1st and goal and a late touchdown at this stage. Could officially salt this one away. They'll run it with Johnson. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Kerryon Johnson, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. So a little icing on the cake there before the clock hits all zeros.
What a way to finish things off. Exactly what you want. Not much time and a touchdown to put things away.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This is taken about 7 yards deep. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of... But now, it's about taking the ball away. Taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
So for Detroit, they climb back to 500 now at 3 up and 3 down. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, things are definitely going south quickly as they fall now to 1-6. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports,
tell me what you want, what you need, tell me what you wanna give, how much blood would you bleed?